All right, Benin Republic has filed fresh charges against Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, who was arrested in the country last Monday. Ibrahim Salami, one of the Cotonou, Benin Republic-based lawyers of Sunday Igboho, disclosed the new charges after Monday's hearing, where Igboho was ordered to remain in police custody in Benin Republic. TVC News' senior political correspondent Adeyemo filed this report from Cotonou, Benin Republic.
Monday's hearing of Sunday Adeyemo's bail application lasted for close to 30 hours. The hope of the Yoruba Nation lead agitator was dashed as he was denied bail, and in another twist, Igboho might be confronted with fresh charges when he appears in court next. Counsel to the accused, Professor of Law Ibrahim Salami, told journalists that Igboho was further reminded to allow police to conduct a thorough investigation into charges which included illegal migration, dubious connivance with immigration officers, and attempt to cause civil unrest. Salami had expected that Igboho would be freed on Monday because of the federal government had yet to file a formal extradition charges against Igboho. He explained that the previous allegations that warranted placing Igboho on a watch list had successfully been tackled during the hearing. Some of the allegations, which he said could not be proved, are trafficking in arms, inciting violence that could result to social disturbance, and causing disunity in Nigeria. First, the judge ruled that Sunday Igboho entered into the Republic of Benin through an illegal means. They also want investigation on how Sunday Igboho conspired with others to enter Benin Republic through wrong means. They also want to know how long he has been in the Republic of Benin and his plans in the country. They also raised a charge on whether he wants to come to cause unrest or social disturbance in Benin Republic. Igboho and his wife were arrested on Monday, July the 19th, 2021 by the International Criminal Police Organization at the Cotonou Airport in Cotonou, Republic of Benin, on their way to Germany. It is still not certain when the accused will be brought to court to answer fresh charges against him. It might be difficult to determine when Chief Sunday Adeyemo, aka Igboho, will be granted bail, as the judge here is saying that definitely he has a case to answer. Who will need to explain to the Beninese government how he got access into Benin Republic and who he has been seeing since he got access into the country. Adeyemo, TVC News, Cotonou, Benin Republic.
All right, joining me in the studio is strategy consultant Kenny Adeyemo. Good morning, Kenny. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here.
I'm certain you have been following developments with the Sunday Igboho's case, and the recent developments has to do with the fresh charges filed against him, which has to do with immigration offenses as well as allegations of, trying to cause an unrest, so to speak, in Cotonou, Benin Republic. But then we remember the ECOWAS treaty that guarantees free movement.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so a lot of persons are wondering why this fresh charge, should this be a matter?
Well, the truth of the matter is this: everything is politics.
Right.
Whichever way you want to look at it. One, there's an ECOWAS treaty, which means there's freedom of movement across the region.
Yes.
It's a regional thing.
Yes.
And when you look at it, you ask yourself, why would a man want to, come in through Benin Republic as a transit spot to travel? The question to ask is, how many days or hours did he spend within Benin Republic? Enough for him to have been able to incite or gather with people and what have you. And then if something like that would happen, then it means that he would have actually had to stay. Mm-hmm. The question is, he wasn't even planning to stay in Benin.
It was just a
transit point for him. Mm. So the question to ask is, at what point in time did he commit these offenses? As it were. Because if you say immigration issue, naturally, the treaty takes care of anything of such. I could go with my Nigerian passport. I could enter Benin. I could go to Ghana, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire without any issue, as long as I get stamped. Okay, fine. I'm in here, and it's a transit thing. It was a transit thing for him. So the question is, at exactly what point did he commit an immigration offense? Number one. first, initial thing the people were saying was, oh, he held Benin
Republic passport, yes.
Yeah, I mean, illegally. But that's been proven wrong. That never happened. But the question then is, why, for God's sake, would he then be held back? The first set of things we heard was, it was because the Nigerian government had flashed him as on the wanted list. So the International Criminal Police then arrested him.
Yes.
Now suddenly, the story is changing, and you ask yourself, to what intent? Now there are certain forces interplaying here. That if we want to look at it,
no, we need to. That's why we are talking about it.
The government of this nation actually, is quite, I would say, devious in a way, in certain ways.
How so?
You see, in the first instance, the challenges that this guy had here, you do not go to people's houses in the middle of the night to arrest or to say you want to search. Nobody does that. It's illegal. Why was a search warrant? You then got in, you did all manner of things you wanted to do. Where were the body cameras that you used in, getting into the homes and what have you? And normally, if you would actually have guns and what have you taken from someone's house, right there and then you take videos. You should do for evidence. But nothing was done until we got to the parade. All those charades, well, is okay, whichever way the government wants to have it. But this guy then decided that, you know what, it's better for my own life, let me check out. Now the government still went ahead. And whatever is going on right now, the government of Nigeria's hands is behind the scene.
You think so?
I want to believe so. The government is doing a lot of things. Of course, at the same time, the Benin government is also probably looking at certain other options. To say, you know what, instead of handing this guy over,
we can deal with it.
Let's create a situation here that will hold him back and keep him away from that. We never can tell exactly what is going on but there are a lot of interplay of forces and issues, politicking, diplomatic issues. And
you think that he would not be extradited because a lot of persons are saying that we do not have that arrangement with the Benin Republic.
Yeah, we do not have an accord.
And and also because initially government had said that they had evidence against him that they were going to present before the court.
Did they get to the court?
But they didn't get to the court. They didn't present it. And I was wondering, why hold back when you say you have an evidence that could push for his extradition into the country?
No, because the evidence you want to push, the question is this, how, people can bring all manner of things. How factual? How can you prove them? One, you said somebody is inciting things, and at the same time, is actually trying to fight the federal government with how many guns? 7 AK-47s. Where did they come from? If those guys who lived with him or who were in his homes had those guns to work with at that point in time that the DSS came, I'm not sure that certain people from the government side would not have gotten armed. I mean, hurt in any way. So, in a way, a lot of trump-up issues will come up, which is expected anyway. We're in a situation in this country where nothing is ever, true as at now. It's abracadabra. Things come in, people do all manner of things. Government come with trump-up charges. We just heard, with the last guest, the Zaki's matter and what have you. You kept a man for over 4 years for nothing. Even if you had evidence against him, now you've said he can go. But the court has said he should be released.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the day he's actually going to be out of the prison. Because this government never can tell. The court has given an order that he should be released, discharged and acquitted. However, let's see how far that judgment, government will take that judgment in implementation. Now, the question here on Igboho's matter is, there was no basis for what government was trying to do. Because somebody was saying...
The DSS invasion, you mean?
Yeah. Even what is going on right now, sending Interpol against him and what have you, and then you say you have evidence against him, bring out the evidences you have. They've not been able to bring it out as of now. They're still perfecting some things. And our government actually likes doing things behind the scene and going the clandestine way instead of coming straight where truth really is. let's face the fact. This is what we have against this guy. This is why we want him back to come and face the music.
Because there were not even there was no case against him in Nigeria before he ran away.
There was no case. No, nobody had accused him. He wasn't arrested.
Yes.
He was not. There was no court case against him.
Yes.
To say that, okay, fine, there's a bench warrant for him. There was no bench warrant in any way, because if government had gone to court in Nigeria to say this guy has done this and this, and then we're looking for him, there would have been a bench warrant for his arrest and what have you. Nothing of such. To then suddenly wake up and say he's wanted. You wanted somebody, you tell him, invite him over to DSS or wherever, instead of storming his home.
He was invited, but he didn't go, as reports have it. But then, where do you see all of this headed? Because you talked about politics and so many things, being played out here.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, where do you see this being headed? Because the lawyers are looking forward to perhaps he being granted bail.
Bail, yeah.
We don't know if that will happen, because right now, as we speak, he is being held in a prison, and we don't know what is going on.
Well, what I would say is this. One, I first have to also appreciate our royal fathers in this part of the country for their support, and they're standing by him at such a time as this. I mean, the Oni of Ife had sent someone there to.
Yoruba
also did, and then the Obas the Yoruba Obas in Benin also stood up as they're standing up for him. However, the issue here is this: there are more interested parties in this matter, and of course, Germany is also interested, because the family is based there, really. So, and he was on his way there when all this happened. So, in a way, there's so much interested parties in this matter. At the end of the day, what I foresee is people, the Nigerian nation the government may want to actually find a way of using economic, issues to hold Benin. To say, you know what, for this and what, because Benin is in a way dependent on certain economic, support and business transactions with Nigeria. So our government may want to go through that route and say, you know what, but at the same time, I know that other interested parties will also be putting pressure on Benin Republic for their own interest. So at the end of the day, I do not, in any way, sincerely, I do not see him extradited. Because one, there is no treaty of such between Nigeria and Benin Republic. Interestingly, we're not even sure if there's a treaty between Nigeria and Germany for extradition. So if he goes to Germany, if there's a treaty, then let's hope if the German government will now be able to give the necessary support to extradite him. We never can. So, but the fact remains, as of today, the Nigerian government and Benin government do not have that
any extradition treaty.
So that is not likely to happen. And like the lawyer said, that they've been able to ensure that is taken care of.
Right.
Now it is now the internal Benin issue that they're looking at, which they are trying to work on the bail for him and what have you. So we hope for the very best for this person.
At the end of the day.
And we believe that the Nigerian government itself will do what is right across for its citizens and the people of this country, because today it's not been what we expected. The government is actually not helping the people to feel good about them at this point.
We'll leave the conversation there. Strategy consultant Kenny Adeyemo, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.